Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I know it's Memorial Day, so I hope that you are enjoying your weekend, your long weekend. I hope you're getting some time to relax. I'm just going to pull up make sure that I can see you guys as you're logging in. Say hi as you're logging in. Let me know that you're here and you're joining in on a holiday weekend. I appreciate you. Okay, here, got it up. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Dawn. You guys say hi. Hey, Kayla. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Hey, Layla. Good morning. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep this short today just because I know it's a holiday weekend and I know that even though we're super passionate about our businesses and wanting to really make an impact every chance we get, that we also need some downtime, and it's the perfect weekend for that, for us to celebrate the freedoms that we have, right? Because of everyone who has stepped up and defended us in the past. So we want to take some time to celebrate that, celebrate our families, and relax and rejuvenate. But I also know that because we are who we are, that we want to get in and do a little bit on our business as well. So good morning, Dina. Good morning, Patrick. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Rhonda. Okay, so let's get going. So I wanted to get in here and talk about overcoming objections, because I know how painful objections are, and I know that actually having these same objections over and over shut down a lot of entrepreneurs, because it gets tiring, right? Who here? Hi, Suzanne. Oh, Suzanne from Uganda. Hi, Dina from Canada. Okay, so I'd love to hear from you guys if you're tired of hearing the same objections over and over in your business. Or maybe you're even just afraid of hearing those objections and it holds you back from taking action. Like the, I can't afford it, right? Who's heard that one before? Or like, does this really work? Or, I don't have time for that. I'm too busy. Or like, this is a scam, right? So what I want you to do, this will be fun, is I want you to drop the objection that you hear the most, or the one that you hate the most. I want you to drop it in the comments. Let me know what objections you hear in your business, because today what we're going to talk about is how to use our funnels to overcome objections. Okay. And I'll be giving some examples today, but remember, when I talk about a funnel, it's really your sales process. So even if your sales process doesn't look like my sales process, that's totally fine. It's still a funnel. Okay. So however you are currently using whatever your process is for finding leads and converting them into customers, that's your sales funnel. Okay. Oh, Layla, that's a good one. Let me think about it. Right? Who's heard that one? Let me think about it. We all know what that really means, right? Okay. So, here's the deal. I have gotten really good at overcoming objections on the phone with people. Like when you have a conversation with someone, like one-on-one, aren't the objections a little bit easier? Because you're talking to like another human being, going back and forth, and you're talking to them like another human being. So I've gotten really good at overcoming objections on the phone or like in person, right? I can overcome almost any objection that you can throw at me, right? But obviously I can't talk to everyone. You can't talk to everyone. Like, in fact, like, I don't know if you guys do sales conversations at all, but like if I have more than 2 sales calls a day, like I'm totally worn out. Like it drains me. Right. And for lower ticket items, like it doesn't make a lot of sense for us to get on the phone anyways. Right. And when we're putting our message out into the world and literally in front of like thousands of people, like we can't talk to thousands of people one-on-one. So we have to have another way. Oh, Patrick says, this is one of those pyramid schemes. Yeah. Hate that one. Ooh, drives me nuts. I cannot afford it. Oh, that's another one. Money is another one. So we're going to talk about money. Okay. Hey, Sydney. Hey, Whitney. Hey, Nicole. Okay. So we have to come up with, you hear my kids upstairs. They're playing with my husband because my husband's off of work today. So if you hear them crying, it's because, or not crying, hopefully not crying. Actually, I think I do, but it's okay. They're with their dad. Don't worry. title it, I think. Okay, so when we're talking about overcoming objections in our sales funnels before they ever come up. Okay. So right now, you guys know I'm promoting the One Funnel Away challenge, and it's $100, right? So that isn't nearly enough money for me to get on the phone with everyone that is even remotely interested in the One Funnel Away, right? I'd never hit my income goals that way. I would drive myself crazy. I'd probably quit, right? And in my network marketing team, like even the highest offer, like it isn't enough money for me to get, like it isn't enough commission for me, even if I sold the highest ticket offer, to get on the phone with every single person who might even consider joining my team or joining Clickfunnels or buying my code. Like it doesn't matter. I don't have a problem getting on the phone with people, right? I'm not trying to say that, but what I'm saying is like we have to use our funnels to overcome as many objections as we can and even close more sales before it ever comes to that point, right? So I've got this, this landing page, right? That's the first piece of my funnel, right? Whatever the first time someone is exposed to you, however you do it, that's the beginning of your funnel, okay? And we're not going to be able to even know who comes across that funnel. So we want to use that funnel to overcome objections, one, and to pre-qualify our people, right? Our ideal clients, our ideal customers before, and we want to pre-qualify them and have them say yes or no right away. That's our main objection, okay? Or objective, right? Oh, Chrissy, hi. I'm glad you can make it live. Okay. Hey, Alexandra. Okay, so when we can get rid of a huge portion of the objections before they even come up, we're going to have higher conversion rates, okay? So if you're hearing the same objections over and over again, and this was me not that long ago, like I was hearing the same freaking objections over and over again. If you're in that place, then it's time to rethink your marketing strategy, because what we can actually do is overcome them strategically so that we get better quality leads and we get more sales and more conversions, okay? So when it comes to objections, there's two main reasons that they're coming up, okay? One, you're talking to the wrong people. You don't have enough clarity on who you want to work with and what their pain points are and what they ultimately want, okay? So when someone says, I don't have money, it's rarely about the money, right? It's because you're not talking to them the way that they're thinking, okay? So when I tell someone I don't have the money, I have the money, guys. I could pay for whatever I wanted. I'm not, okay. That came out wrong. Money is rarely the issue. Like if I wanted to go spend some money, I would go spend some money. So if I tell you that I don't have the money, it's because you didn't show me the value, okay? Or you weren't talking to me. You weren't presenting the solution to me, who I am right now today, okay? So that's number one, is you're talking to the wrong person. Number two is that you're not showing enough value in your offer. Like you're not future pacing your potential customers enough to really paint the picture of what life is going to look like when you solve their problem. Those are the only two reasons that you're having objections, okay? So when someone tells me they don't have the money, either I haven't shown them the value of what I'm offering, or they're not my people. And we can get around both of those by using our funnels. I don't want to talk to the wrong people. I don't want them to even opt into my emails. I don't want to get on the phone with them. I want to only have people who are my right people. Okay. That's one. And then two is if they are my right people and they're telling me they don't have the money, that means I didn't show them the value. I didn't paint the picture in their head of what life could look like on the other side. So that's the only two reasons that objections come up. That's it. Okay. They don't understand how valuable. Yes. Susanna says they have the money, they just don't want to spend it on what you're selling. Yes. Layla says, by the way, sign up for the One Funnel Away. There are a few spots left, you guys. Yes, thank you. Yeah, or make them the money, like how this can save them money. Okay, yeah, we're going to get into that, right? So those are the only two reasons that objections come up, okay? So now, those are the two reasons objections come up, right? But now there's three categories of objections that everyone has, okay? Even if you're talking to the perfect person for your business, right? That you like the most ideal customer that you could ever think of, like even that person has objections. And I'm going to just kind of explain how we can get in front of those objections. But even like your hyperactive buyers, like me, like last year, I was like so desperate to solve my problems that I was like, I would throw money at them, like whatever. Like, but even the hyperactive buyers that are your perfect people, they have objections. I have objections. Anytime I am going to buy something, I have objections in my head. Like, so what we want to do is not wait until they come up. Okay, this might make you uncomfortable, but we want to get in front of them so that they never do come up. Like, we actually have to bring them up ourselves. Okay, so a lot of people shy away from this, what I'm going to tell you. Like, but the more direct you can be, the better you will be at pre-qualifying your people and getting sales and getting more conversions. And it's going to be uncomfortable sometimes, right? But if you want to strike it big, and I know that you are because you're here with me on Memorial Day, instead of doing what else you want to do, right? So if you want to strike it big, you have to get used to being uncomfortable. You have to be okay with being more direct, okay? So if you look at some of my funnels, if you watch my videos, if you look at my content, because I have lots of different types of funnels. So I'm not just saying like, ClickFunnels, right? But if you look at my content in my funnels, you'll see that I bring up price. I don't shy away from it anymore. I used to like, dance around it and hide some of the hidden costs, right? But now I bring it up. Okay. And I'll even say like, yeah, working with me one-on-one is expensive, right? Or, I'll say something like, sure, you could learn it on your own. I did, but it took me 3 years. Okay. So do you want to take 3 years and learn it yourself, or do you want to take a shortcut, right? Or I'll even say something like, if investing in this doesn't scare you a little bit, then this it's probably not for you. Okay. So you see how like, I'm not afraid of it anymore. So it takes, first of all, knowing, so don't be afraid to be direct. I'm actually getting a little bit ahead of myself, but what we actually want to start getting really good at is calling out our perfect person and not shying away from it, not being afraid to repel everybody else. So when I say it's expensive, I am repelling some people, but they weren't ready for it. Okay. So I want to repel them now, and I can bring them into a different offer, right? But I want to repel them from getting too far into that funnel, because it's a waste of their time. It's a waste of my time. Okay. So, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Looking back at my notes here. Okay, so the 3 categories of objections, because even your most perfect person has objections, right? Is they fall into 3 categories. And I don't know if Lynette's on. Somebody dropped these in the comments so we can kind of take notes. There's 3 categories of objections that we have to get in front of. And we want to do it strategically, and we want to really get clarity on these 3 categories of objections. So one is the vehicle. Okay, number 1 is the vehicle. What you're selling won't work. And that it comes like whatever that objection looks like for your ideal customer, it's still going to be there, right? So, and I say the vehicle is the vehicle is your solution. That's what I mean by the vehicle. So why is what I'm selling better than what, Joe down the street is selling? Or, there's a million other people out there selling something, right? A vehicle. And why is my vehicle better? Okay, so we have to get in front of that, because they're thinking in their heads, I know my ideal client is thinking like, yeah, why is ClickFunnels better? Or why is your network marketing opportunity better? Or why are you the coach for me? Okay, so they're thinking of that objection, right? Around the vehicle. Second, so vehicle is number 1. Second is external factors. Okay, this is where things outside of them are holding them back. So this is where money would come up, right? This is where time would come up. This is where life situations, I'm a divorced mom, or I'm a single mom, or this is where those kind of objections come up. Like, I'll have to spend money on ads. Like I hear that one a lot. Sure, I'd love to do ClickFunnels, but I'd have to spend money on ads. Okay. So they're telling themselves a story about something external to their body. Okay. So you've got to get clarity on what they're telling themselves outside of their control, or what they think is outside of their control. Right. And then third is internal factors. Okay. So vehicle is one, external, and then third is internal. So internal are the limiting beliefs. These are the hardest ones. So these are the ones like, I'm not good enough. Like, you know, I get like, I'm an introvert. could I really do this? Cause I'm an introvert. Or my husband wouldn't support me, or, you know, I'm not smart enough. I'm not techie enough. Right. You know, I'm not good at putting myself out there on social media. Like those are the internal, right? So no matter what it is that you're selling, people are doubting themselves. Okay. So we got to get over those three categories of objections: vehicle, external, internal. Okay. So the first thing you got to do, and I know this is a lot, but you can kind of map it out a little bit. So the first step, because remember, there's only two reasons objections come up, is because you're not talking to the wrong person or you aren't showing the value enough. Okay. So you have to first get really clear on who you want to sell to in your funnel. That is the first step, because every person is different and their objections are going to be different too. And so what you want to be able to do is know exactly what their objections are going to be so that you can get in front of them. Okay. So for me, I'll just give my example. Like, I've gotten so much clarity around who I want to work with. And some of this comes from time, but I think a lot of it is just like, I didn't ever sit down and just start listing out who the perfect person, you know, that I want to work with is. And once I did that, it was so much easier to now think about what their objections are going to be. So for me, like, I actually don't want to work with a lot of newbie entrepreneurs. I know that sounds harsh, but I don't. Like, I don't want to work with a lot of people who've never invested money in their business. I just don't. Like, I don't. That's who I want. That's my perfect person, is someone who is already investing in their business. They've already been trying for a while. Okay. So they've already had their own, but they've already had some sort of experience of working for themselves. They've tried something. Even if they failed, that's okay. They've tried something. Okay. Because I know that my solution, what I can bring to the table for people, you know, like funnels, for example, it's not going to be the right solution for a brand new entrepreneur. I mean, it's harsh, but it's true. Like, so I would be wasting my time and their time, right? So I got really clear on who I want to attract in my funnels. Okay. And it's only when you get that level of clarity that you can pre-frame your funnel to overcome that specific person's objection. Okay. Because someone who is just maybe kind of thinking about becoming an entrepreneur is going to have a lot different objections than someone who's already out there. They're struggling, but they're trying, right? They're going to speak different languages. They're going to use different words. And that's how we can really use our funnels to make them feel like, wow, is Melissa in my head? I feel like she's in my head. She knows exactly what I'm thinking. And it's because I had that clarity first. Okay. So you can start to use your funnel to bring those people in and repel everybody else. Okay. So if you don't know, like, get out like a piece of paper. This isn't hard, and just start listing out the qualities of who you want to work with. Like if you could craft the perfect person that you would want to like jump out of bed and work with or sell to, like, who's going to get the best results? Who is that? Okay. Christy says, more reason that niche clarity is key. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So now you know who your person is. Okay. So now I know, like, I've got super clarity on my entrepreneur who's, you know, struggling a little bit. They just haven't found the right systems, the right strategy, but they're not afraid of investing in their business. They've invested in their business before. They know that time is money, right? I don't have to convince them. Okay. So now I've got that clarity. Okay. I know who my perfect shark. I always like to think of, I don't know why, it just makes sense to me. If you guys haven't heard my shark analogy, I know who my perfect shark is. Okay. I won't go into that whole story. I did a live on it a few weeks ago, but, basically, like, if a fisherman is going to go out and swim or fish for a specific type of shark, then there's still going to be different ages of that shark, right? There's going to be the baby sharks. There's going to be the mid-sized sharks. And then there's going to be the sharks that he wants to hang on his wall, or, you know, whatever. I'm not a fisherman, but, you get the idea. So So I know my perfect person, but there's still different versions. There's different like ages of that shark, right? So a few weeks ago, I did a whole live on how to talk to the 3 different temperatures of your traffic. Okay, we covered it, so I won't go into too much detail, but I'll just give you like a little bit of a reminder here, because the first step is knowing who you want to work with, who you want to target, right? And the second is what stage are they? Okay, so what stage are they in their journey? Because we all know like we have problems, right? And they're painful, but it takes us a while sometimes. We almost have to like suffer a little bit more. It's kind of a harsh way to put it, but we do. We have to suffer a little bit before we're willing to like put more skin in the game, or pull out our credit card, or make the 4-figure purchase versus like the $100 purchase, right? It takes a while. We're not always right there. Okay, so there's cold traffic, right? Cold traffic. Go back and watch the video if you haven't. But the cold traffic, they're so focused on their problem that they don't even care about the solution yet. Okay, so if we come into our funnels and we start talking about the solution and we're going after cold traffic, they're never going to convert, because we're not going to be addressing their objections, what's coming up in their head. So true. The suffering makes you hungry. Yes. Jessica, so you need a separate funnel for each versions of your shark. A lot of times, yes. If you want to attract all 3 of those traffic types, right? And you could take so what I do a lot of times is I'll take my one funnel and I'll make 3 different versions, or maybe just 2. Just kind of depends on what you want to go after. But yeah, I mean, they're good. Think about it. Okay. So let me go through this and I'll give you some examples of why that's important. Okay. So cold traffic, they've got their blinders on, man. And it's not to say they're being self-centered, but in a way they are. All they're thinking about is their problems. They might not even know the solution exists. They're so focused on their problems. Okay. So they're going to have different objections than warm traffic. Okay. Warm traffic, they're kind of aged a little bit. They've suffered a little bit. So they're focused now much more on their desire, and they're starting to actively look for the solution. Okay. They're starting. So they're really focused on what they want now. Okay. They've grown away a little bit from the problem, and they're focusing on the desire. Okay. And then there's hot traffic, and they want the solution like yesterday. They're willing to invest like yesterday. They want the solution. They want their problem fixed right now. Okay. So for each temperature of your perfect shark, we need to go through and list out their objections so that we can overcome them. Okay. Chrissy says she shows you specifically how in my CEO course. Yeah, I do. Chris, thanks for the plug, Chrissy. I do have a whole course on this that I go into grave detail, but I just want to kind of give you this overview, because people who are your cold traffic, they still are going to buy from you, but they have totally different objections than someone who's hot traffic. Okay. So if we're not talking to them in their language, then we're leaving money on the table, you guys. Okay. So cold traffic they're focused on their problems. So in my example, where I'm talking to these entrepreneurs who they're already out there trying to get leads. They've invested in their business or whatever, but they're still cold traffic. They're so focused on their problems. So then I would want to talk about the problems more. Okay. So I'd want to talk about not making money, right? Or having to think about going back to the corporate world because they're not able to make enough money, or maybe they are hustling their butt off and they're like, is this even worth it? Okay. I'm going to focus a lot more on the objections that come up around the actual problem, because that's what they're focused on. Okay. So I would go through and I would take that version of my shark, right? The cold version of my shark, or the baby shark. Don't get me singing that song, baby shark. No, yeah, my kids. Okay, so I would take that cold version of my shark and I would go through and I say, okay, what are their objections about the vehicle? Okay, like why should they even listen to me? Okay, and then I would say, what's their external objection as a baby shark, right? Okay, because they've already spent money, right? There's too much technical stuff. Think about like where you were when you were that cold version of, like when you were the baby shark, right? What were your objections? What are their internal objections? Like by this point, they've tried something before and it didn't work, right? So they might be thinking in their head, okay, she's got the vehicle, but like I'm not smart enough for that, right? Obviously I'm not smart enough. I've been trying for 2 years and it hasn't worked for me, right? I don't have a lot of money left because I've eaten up my entire budget. That could be an external one. I've been investing in my business and nothing's working, right? So I would have to know their specific objections as a cold traffic, okay? And then warm traffic, they're focused on the desire, right? So now I can start hinting at the solution more. But I still have to go through and I say, well, for my warm shark, what is their objection around the vehicle? And by now I could talk a little bit about automations and funnels because they're a little bit bigger. They're going to understand a little bit more. So now I would say, well, for this shark who has been swimming for a while, right? Why should they listen to me? Like, why should they think that funnels are going to be better than social media, right? Or funnels are going to work better than like going to networking events, okay? So now I can talk to them differently because they have different objections, right? And for my hot traffic, okay, so now it's a whole different ball game because with hot traffic, they're ready to pull out their credit cards. So their objections are going to be totally different because now I can talk to them about, I can go straight for the jugular, right? I can start talking about Clickfunnels specifically, or my network marketing team specifically, or my coaching program specifically, because they're ready for that. But so what objections are going to come up? Like, why Clickfunnels, right? That's the vehicle. I've got lead pages. I can build a funnel in lead pages, or I can build a funnel in Builderall. Why in the heck should I listen to, or why should I come over and join Clickfunnels? Why is it better? Right? If I tried to talk to my cold audience about Clickfunnels, I would lose them. If I even talked to my cold traffic about funnels in general, I would lose them because they're not there. They're focused on their problems. But with my hot traffic, you guys, I could go straight for Clickfunnels and I can talk about like their external and their internal, their objections are going to be so much different. Okay. So does that make sense? Kaylee says, sweet, I got your CEO course, but haven't had a chance to get into it yet. Yeah, definitely. So these are the steps, right? And so obviously there's a lot more here, but now that we understand their objections, we can design our entire funnel to overcome them before they come up, right? So, if you look at some of my landing pages and even like the titles of my blog posts and the titles of my live videos, like I'm using these titles to draw in who I want to talk to. Okay. So for instance, on this live video, I said overcoming objections in your funnels. So who am I talking to? Like if you're scrolling through here and you're looking for something to listen to and you don't know what, like you've never felt the pain of objections, or if you don't know what a funnel is, you're probably going to keep scrolling on by. And that's exactly what I want, right? I want to attract a warmer audience, a hotter audience. So I'm assuming that if you guys are on here and you're still listening to me, you're probably warm or hot. Okay. So I use my headlines, and then in my video, like I come out and I'm very transparent with who I'm talking to, right? And if you started watching this video and then it's like way over your head, you probably jumped off. Or if you weren't ready to invest or listen and try to work through some of these things, you probably jumped off already. Okay. Same thing in my funnels. Like on my landing page, I'll actually use the title, my headline, to draw in exactly the temperature of my shark and overcome their objections before they even give me their email address, right? So for example, like I have one of my best performing funnels out there is, like it's talking about multiple income streams. It's talking to the entrepreneur who already is trying to do their business, right? Trying to make money from home. And my headline is like how this busy, well, I don't have it written down, so I'm trying to remember. It's like how this busy mom of two builds multiple plug and play income streams into her business working from home, or something like that, with her working from home or something like that. How this busy mom of two builds multiple plug and play income streams into her business working from home. So what I'm doing in that headline is I'm already overcoming objections, right? I'm saying I'm a busy mom. I got 2 kids of my own, right? And I can make it work. So I'm overcoming that objection. Number 2, I'm overcoming the yeah, but I'm not techie, right? I'm not techie. So I said plug and play, right? So I'm already overcoming some of these objections. It's going to get their curiosity up because they're like, well, hey, I'm a busy mom, right? If I'm already thinking I don't have time, I barely have time for one income stream, let alone two. But now she's saying she's a busy mom of two, so maybe I'm curious a little bit, right? And then for the objection of, yeah, but I'm not techie. Like I can never set up these automations and stuff. Like I'm saying plug and play, right? So I'm already overcoming that objection a little bit just with a headline. And that funnel converts very, very well for me. And it's because I'm already starting to overcome their objections. And then it doesn't take me very long. If you get into my funnel, you go straight to a sales page, right? And I'm going through it and I'm letting you know I was where you are. I'm telling my story. So what we do is we use our stories to strategically overcome those objections. Because what sells better than your story? I could sit here and say, well, I'm going to sell you this funnel software and you can build 100 funnels with it. And, you have your own website and you blah, blah, blah. I can list off all the features, but that's not overcoming their objections. But if I tell you a story about how, it doesn't have to be your story. It could be anybody's story. Like you could say, I tell the story a lot. Like I've invested $25,000 into my business and it got no results. This was the best $100 I've ever spent. I got more results with this $100 than I did with $25,000, right? So I tell my stories to get ahead of those objections, right? Because I'm talking to somebody who has already invested in their business. And I know that. And I know it's scary to lose money. I've been there. So I'm telling my stories to break down that objection. So if I tell someone that I've invested $25,000 in my business and this $100 was better than that, do you think I get a lot of objections about money? Very rarely. Very rarely, because I've gotten ahead of it. Like I used my story or the story of my clients to overcome that objection before it ever came up. Okay, so I don't get that many. Chrissy says, overcoming objections in the headlines. Genius. So Chrissy, you're a copywriter. She said, my copywriter alter ego loves this. Yes. And it's like, I'm not even a copywriter. I'm just thinking ahead. I'm thinking ahead of what's going to come up and the reasons why by the time I make my offer, they're going to say no and get ahead of them. Okay. So if your sales page goes straight to your offer, think about it that way. If you go straight for the offer, like you just put it there, like give me your credit card, what are the objections that are going to come up? Like, why are they going to just click away from that page? Get ahead of them. Okay. So think of one, who you're talking to, get really good clarity on who you're talking to. Number two, determine what kind of temperature they are, because cold traffic's not bad. I want cold traffic, but I have to talk to them differently. I can't go straight for the jugular and start talking about Clickfunnels. It won't work. So I have to talk to them differently. I have to talk about the reasons why they want to work from home, right? I have to focus on the problems. I have to talk about the things that they've probably tried and didn't work and why my solution is different. Okay. So it's all about getting clarity on those two things. Who you're talking to, who your perfect ideal customer is, your client, your business partner, whatever it is that you sell, and then what temperature of traffic they are so that you can identify those objections, those 3 category objections. So I know that's kind of confusing. So who you're talking to, right? That's the first one. That's the most important. What temperature they are, right? So you're going to have one ideal client, right? Ideally, and one for one funnel, right? One ideal client, one or maybe 2 temperatures of traffic inside that funnel. Because sometimes you can do warm and hot in one, depending on the ticket price, right? If I'm going to sell a $5,000 ticket price, I probably only want to talk to the hot traffic. Okay. But if I'm selling something mid-range, I could probably talk to both, right? But you kind of got to think of those. So you have 3 different temperatures or 3 different temperatures of your traffic or stages of your shark, right? You could think about it that way. And then list out their 3 objections for each temperature of traffic. So vehicle 1, why is your solution better than the other solutions that are out on the market, right? Why is a keto diet better than the paleo diet, or whatever? Why if you're selling weight loss, why is funnels and automation the way to go instead of having home parties, right? Why is I'm trying to think of some other examples off the top of my head, but like, why should they come and spend their money with you instead of going to spend it on another solution? That's the vehicle. Second is the external factors. Like, get ahead of them. Get ahead of them. Your stuff costs more, probably, right? They could go to Walmart and buy makeup. Why are they going to buy makeup from you, right? So you got to get ahead of that example or that objection before it comes up, okay? They could, for me, like, they could go out and spend money on there's probably cheaper funnel building software. There's probably cheaper coaches. I'm sure there is. But so I want to get ahead of that and show the value in my offer so that money never comes up. And you can use stories to break that up, to break up those objections. And you can do it straight there in your funnel. Okay. So that you're not having to get on the phone with people. You're not having to do one-on-one conversations, and you're drawing in higher quality leads in repelling everybody else. Does that make sense? Was that helpful? So every piece of content that you put out there, start being more direct with who you want to draw in. Okay. Start letting them know up front what the commitments are. Like, I don't ever sign someone up, for my network marketing team, for example, without them knowing straight away, like, there's going to be money. You got to spend money, right? You got to have an hour or two a day or you're not going to see results. You got to be consistent with it. Like, lay it all out there and call out your people. Okay. And then you can use your stories to break up the objections for that person. Okay. Don't be afraid of being more direct. You want to actually put out the objection, put it out there. Like, you bring it up first. That's how you position yourself as an authority. So, like, you're doing all these great things in your funnels, in your content, and it's all about knowing those things and getting ahead of them. Does that make sense? You guys, that's all I really wanted to say today. I've got some examples I can give you guys so you can kind of see how I've tweaked my funnels. A lot of this I've learned actually from the One Funnel Away Challenge. So as Layla said, if you guys are not in the One Funnel Away Challenge, it is the best $100 I've invested in my business as far as ROI, because my business has exploded this year because of it. And a lot of it is like the learning about what to put in your funnel, where to put it. Which objection should I talk about first, right? Which story should I tell? How do I know where to put the pain and where to put where in my funnel do I talk about the pain points, and where in the funnel do I talk about where do I future pace them to show them the results, right? So we learn all of this in the One Funnel Away Challenge. So even if you're really good at funnels, you come out the other side with a higher converting funnel because now it's strategic. It makes sense. Remember, our sales funnels are journeys for our customers. It is what takes our brand new cold traffic, doesn't know us, doesn't know anything is not even thinking about the solution. And by the end of our funnel, they're pulling out their credit cards. That's what a funnel does. So there is a lot of strategy there. I obviously cannot teach it all in an hour a week, but that's why so many people are getting amazing results from the One Funnel Away Challenge. So yes, please share. Dina says, please share examples, samples. Absolutely. Like, I'll be more than happy to give you examples of my funnel so you can start to see, right? And don't be freaked out if you're drawn in, because if you're drawn into my funnels, there's a good chance that you're the type of person that I was targeting. And if you're not, if you're like, that language doesn't speak to me, it's a good thing as well. So we want to start doing that. So yes, Dina, I'll be more than happy to share some examples. I think you've even been in some of my funnels. And that's the amazing part is like, a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, I bought that from you. I did this, I went through your funnel and I bought your course, or I joined the One Funnel Away Challenge. I have people joining from all aspects, all different temperatures of traffic, and they didn't even realize that they were in a sales funnel or sales process, right? It's because it's about pulling all of this strategy in. So it just feels like, yeah, she knows exactly what I'm going through. She's been where I am. She's on the other side now, and she can teach me the shortcut, right? It's all about the psychology of it as well. The actual funnel itself, the technology piece, is just the delivery mechanism for our offers, okay? So we've got to you could have like the best design, best like looking funnel in the world, but if you're not clear on those points and you're not able to overcome those objections, you're not going to make as many sales. I mean, that's just or you're gonna have to talk to a lot of people one-on-one, and we don't want that, right? We're busy. Dina says, we're not aware that we went through the funnel process. Yeah, that's the best part. So Dina's already in the One Funnel Away challenge. Chrissy's in the One Funnel Away challenge. They went through a funnel of mine. Okay, so it really does work. All right, you guys. So I want you to go out and here's your homework assignment. I want you to get a piece of paper and write down the qualities of your ideal client. Do not be scared of writing down, getting really specific, and don't be afraid of polarizing people, or be afraid of being too bold. You get more specific. You list out the person who you want to work with, right? If you're I was just talking to someone the other day, and we were going to go into this process together, and she's selling like a weight loss and a fitness strategy, right? And she was afraid to put in her funnel that they had to exercise. And I'm like, no, because your ideal person, who is your ideal person? It's someone who's willing to show up and do the work, right? So get really clear on who you want to attract. Write down all their qualities, right? Write them down. Like if you could design the perfect person to work with you, what would they look like? And then it's going to be so much easier for you to start to put yourself in that position, and then think of the objections that are going to come up, and then use your stories to break them up. Okay, so that's your homework for today, is to get really clear on who you want to attract, and then start to anticipate the objections that are going to come up for that temperature of shark. Does that make sense? So who you want to attract, and then break it down into, are they cold, warm, or hot? What are the objections that come up for each of those categories of cold, warm, and hot, for vehicle, internal, and external? Okay. Hey, Julianne. Kaylee says, I went through your funnel. Yes. And Kaylee converted. So it works, you guys. This is the strategy that I actually learned in the One Funnel Away challenge, and it has blown up my business in so many different ways. So that's all I wanted to have. For those of you who are jumping on now, hey Jan, hey Maritza. Oh, that's a pretty name. You guys have to watch the replay. I know it's Memorial Day weekend, so I wanted to kind of keep it short, but I still talk for 40 minutes because you guys, I get really pumped up about this. I just want to make as many people have the success in their business that they desire. That is like my mission. I get pumped up about it. So I apologize if I took up a lot more than your time on Memorial Day than I anticipated, or I had wanted to. But you guys, if you go through this process, whether you join One Funnel Away or not, I don't care. If you go through this process, you will have better results, and you will absolutely see less and less objections come up and make more sales. I guarantee it. I know that's a bold statement, but I guarantee if you get really clear on who you're talking to and what objections are swimming around in their head, you will do much better in any kind of funnel that you could ever craft up. So that's your homework assignment. I know it's mean of me to give you homework on Memorial Day, and if you're out celebrating, maybe you'll get more clarity with a margarita or two. Okay, so you guys, let me know your questions. Let me know if I can answer anything for you. Drop them in the comments. Chrissy, oh, thank you. Okay, Chrissy just summarized it for you. So thank you so much. That helps a lot for those of you who are watching the replay too. So who am I talking to? Which temperature of traffic? And list their objections: vehicle, external, and internal. There you go. Maybe I'll make like a little workbook that goes with this concept. Okay, so you guys go enjoy yourselves, and I will be talking to you soon. Layla dropped the link for the One Funnel Away challenge. I do have a few spots left, but they are filling up. I cannot imagine that they'll be available in another week or so. So if you want in, get in now. It's only $100. You guys, best investment in your business that I can promise you. So have a great day, and I will talk to you guys next week.